Hello, I'm Logan Phillips and welcome to my vlog, or as we like to call it, the VLOGAN. This is a vlog dedicated to people with special needs and those who love them. Today, I'm joined by Tracey Manz and Erin Powers of the Aspirations program at the Nisonger Center. Both of these individuals who you see on your screen are wonderful, first of all, but they have tremendous roles and long titles, so I'm going to get it right. All right, I'm going to read it. So joining us is Erin Powers. She's the program manager of Aspirations, and she is on the social work faculty of the LEND program at Nisonger. We have Tracey Manz. She is the program coordinator for Aspirations and also is the lead parent facilitator for Aspirations. She also is the program coordinator for the Family Resource Network of Ohio and the peer-to-peer network coordinator. So I think I got all of that right. And I'm excited that you're both here. Viewers, in case you're wondering how I know Tracey and Erin, through the Aspirations program, they've invited me in to speak to their group about estate planning, special needs trusts, and financial planning for people with special needs and those who love them. So guys, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
But will you tell us, what is Aspirations?
So Aspirations is a program within the Nisonger Center within our social programs. It started back in 2002, so it's been around for quite a while and has kind of ebbed and flowed and changed over the years as kind of the needs change with all of our participants. So when the program started out in 2002, it started just as a social skills and support group for young adults on the autism spectrum. And back then it was specifically Asperger's. So since its origin in 2002, we've expanded to include a parent program. So when our participants are meeting in group, we meet in weekly groups every Tuesday evening. It's a 10-week curriculum over 12 weeks. Our parents are actually meeting in a separate room at the same time. That's the group that Tracey facilitates. So it's strictly a parent facilitated group. And then we bring in speakers such as yourself, Logan, to talk about resources for families, share any kind of experiences. So we like to have our parents talk a lot about the experiences that they've had with the different speakers that have come in. And then our participants are in small groups of about 8 to 10 people, all around the same age. So we run 3 small groups at a time typically. So we run a teen group, 13 to around 18, kind of depends on the group we have. And then we run a middle young adult group, so that 18 to 22-ish. And then an older young adult group, which is usually around 22 to up to 30. And in that 10-week curriculum, we're going over all kinds of social skills. So more of a review of the skills. So not your typical skill building group, more on that support side. So we're helping all of our participants get comfortable being in social situations, remember to use their skills, helping them make friends and keep friends. So skills are anything from social communication to body language to problem solving. We go into a little bit of transition planning. So employment, we talk about independent living and just those skills that you need to be more independent. And then, of course, all of the tricky stuff with online communication, so social media and emails and texting and all of the, savvy social skills that you need to be safe on the internet and be polite on the internet.
Got it. That Aspirations started off as a group for individuals with autism. And it did such a good job that you uncovered more needs and then added a parent component to it. And so it sounds like there's a curriculum for young adults and then their parents.
Yes.
Right. All right. And Tracey, that's where you come in, right? Because you are helping the parents. Can you expand a little bit on what Erin was talking about with the parent program?
Certainly. When we are meeting our families who become part of Aspirations, we do what we call an intake interview. and we get to know what challenges the families may be facing. And we will tend to schedule speakers who are we believe will help those families answer those questions and challenges that they have. Plus, we have some standards that we always bring in, things that we think that perhaps families need to know about, but they don't know that they need to know about, such as yourself. I think often families are unaware of the need for specialized planning for their children in terms of finances and trusts.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the relationships that are built, both young adults in the program and then also from the parents? Tracey, we'll just stick with you if you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure, sure. It's something really exceptional. Our group is definitely resource based in that we're going to provide you with a bunch of information, but also support based. There's nothing quite like being in a room full of other people who have shared your experience. Raising a child on the spectrum is different than raising a typical child, and you do have different experiences. And people who are in that room often have a different understanding of you than perhaps others do. With that being said, after our 12-week session is over, we continue to maintain relationships. We do things like we have a parents' night out where everybody's just invited and we'll go get dinner and drinks. We encourage parents to meet up on their own, to form their own friendships, and to help support their children in those friendships as well, of course. We also have some big events every year. We offer I think the next one we'll actually be able to do is we might be able to do our big summer picnic that everybody's invited to, all of our members and their families. We have a fall festival, costumes, prizes, get together at a park with a s'mores and a bar and a bonfire. We do a big holiday party and a spring fling. We didn't get to do that the last couple of years, but the last time we did the spring fling, it was great because we themed it, and it was a superhero ball. So yes, they loved it. All of our members came and they were dressed as superheroes who were dressed up. So that was fun. The families came, and with our members, after they end their 12-week session, they're invited to come back for our monthly reunions. They happen the second Tuesday of every month, always. And then we also have some specialized groups. We have a men's aspirations group where guys just get together and have a good time. They usually go do active things. They hike, they do paintballing, things like that.
These are the young adults, or these are
The young adults.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the young adults, our members. Yeah.
Our parents tend to go along though with the men's group specifically. We had the time that we had paintballing happen. I think we probably had 3 or 4 parents also participate in the paintballing because they love it too.
Great. Awesome.
Definitely.
So it sounds like this is an opportunity both for parents to talk with other parents and share ideas and maybe develop friendships, but it's also for the participants also develop friendships that last longer than the 12 weeks.
Absolutely. That's the goal.
Great. And Aspirations is through the Nisonger Center. Erin, can you tell me a little bit about the Nisonger Center and what is the Nisonger Center and how's Aspirations affiliated with it, and what other programs Nisonger offers?
So the Nisonger Center is part of Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center, as well as the College of Medicine. So Nisonger is one of, I think, around 67 what we call a UCED, so a University Center for Excellence Developmental Disabilities. So Nisonger Center focuses on research related to intellectual and developmental disabilities, training, so training the community, training other professionals, and then services. So in terms of services at the Nisonger Center, there are a ton, and they are across the lifespan. So starting as early as age, newborn, all the way up through the aging population. Starting off with our younger kiddos, we have an early childhood education center where we provide an inclusive daycare and then early intervention supports. So our early intervention program is utilizes a multidisciplinary team. So all kinds of different providers who go into the home and help coach parents on those early intervention skills. We have a couple diagnostic clinics, again, across the lifespan. So starting as early as a couple months all the way through transition age. And then we have research programs. So we have clinical trials for medications. We have a behavior support program for that's through kind of in connection with the Franklin County Board of Disabilities. We have a dentist. So we have a dental clinic that provides specific care for individuals with developmental disabilities. So our TOPS program provides a certification for individuals with intellectual disabilities who want a college experience. So they come and they learn what it's like to live on campus. And then the majority, I would say we have like a 90% employment rate after that program. So all of those students go through some job training, they have internships, and most of them leave with some sort of job. And then in our social programs, which is all very connected with Aspirations at times. So a lot of the participants in Aspirations are also members of our ACE program. So our ACE program is Autism College Experience. So those students are students on the autism spectrum, either enrolled at Ohio State or Columbus State. And that program is different than TOPS in that it is degree-seeking students. So we provide some support for them.
Wow. So I love, first of all, Tracey, let your friend come up and see us if your friend would like.
Could you see me fighting him?
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Smile, JB.
who is that friend?
This is actually my son's, supposedly his service dog. He's been through service dog training twice and has decided that he is not a working man. He is a pet.
I understand. What kind of dog is he? He's beautiful.
Thank you. He's what they call a Lhasa Shoe, and he's actually a breed that they recommend as service dogs for people with autism because he's like real loyal and real lovable. So Lhasa Apso and Shih Tzu.
Well, that's great.
Not much of a worker though.
Thanks. What's his name?
His name, my son named him. His name is JB and it stands for Jason Bourne.
I love it. Love it. Jason, thanks for coming to see us. Come anytime. So what I think I heard was Nisonger Center is a place, and inside that place, lots of cool stuff happens, and almost anything that you could dream of wanting to do related to sort of college or services or anything is kind of can be found there, which kind of makes me want to ask the question then, Tracey, how do people get involved in Aspirations? Do they have to go through the Nisonger Center? Do they go through their county board? How does that work?
Sure, great question, Logan. The easiest and quickest way to do it is to visit the Nisonger's website. From there, you will be able to click through to Aspirations if you check out social programs, and there is a web page that tells a lot of information about us, and then you can click right on our application to fill out information. You'll submit it to Erin, and then she'll reach out and set up a time to chat and make sure that it's a great fit for you and for us.
Terrific. So there's no requirement that they go through their county board or anything like that to do Aspirations. There's no requirement that they be a Franklin County resident or anything like that. Is that correct?
Correct. We
Great.
have people attend Aspirations. Even prior to COVID, we had people driving as far as Troy, Ohio. Is that the farthest one we had, Erin?
I think that's the
Yeah.
farthest, yeah.
Every week because they were just excited to be a part of it, and they even repeated because they got so much out of it. They wanted to come again. Now that we're doing blended or hybrid groups, I think that provides even more opportunity for people farther away to join us and be part of it.
Awesome. And then what about the other programs, Erin? I'll turn back to you. The TOPS or anything like that. Is the Nisonger website the place to go for that? Or with early
Yeah.
intervention, is that through the county board? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So pretty much all programs in Nisonger, there are different kind of eligibility requirements. So for example, our behavior support program is specifically for those individuals who have more complex needs and are connected with the county board. So they do have to go through the county board to receive services. Same with, I didn't talk about we have a dual diagnosis clinic where folks can see a psychiatrist. That program as well is specifically for individuals who are served by the Franklin County Board of DD. With our early intervention program and our TOPS program and all of our social programs, those are for anybody in the community. So you don't need a specific referral. You can just check out our website.
It sounds to me like the place to start would be to get on the Nisonger website, look at all the different things, see if you can click through to get in touch, and then also parents would take this to their SSA and say, hey, we saw this program. How can we get involved in that? Is there a cost related to Aspirations?
There is a cost. We do need to be funded. Our cost is a little pricey for families. So that's one reason we do encourage families to talk to their SSAs, because our funding, we have a couple different funding sources. So the majority of our families are paying out of pocket. The cost for the initial program currently is $775, and that gets you that full 10-week curriculum and then all of the ongoing reunions, events, communication with me and Tracey. We do have a resource library that parents can access.
And that's mom and that's I was going to say mom and dad and
Correct.
child.
Yes.
Or it could be grandma and child, or it could be uncle and nephew. It's just that's basically two different curriculums, a parent curriculum and a participant curriculum. Is that right?
Correct. And we have some scholarships available for families. And like I said, some of the county boards, so for example, Delaware County Board usually can provide some funding for us depending on what the individual's ISP goals are. And then we've had some other outside agencies provide some support as well.
Great. Thank you. Tracey, it's since you brought it up, I didn't want to bring anything up that wasn't out there in the public. So you have a son who is on the spectrum?
I do. That's how I became involved with Aspirations. My son, we knew he had some issues at 18 months old, and we kept seeking answers, and we actually didn't get his diagnosis until he was about 15 and a half.
Okay.
And when I got the diagnosis, the doctor said, well, hooray, we found out what it is. Go find a social group, enjoy. So we didn't know what to do with it. And we tried some social groups, but he wasn't a good fit. They were not particularly on his peer group. They were generally more affected by their disability. My son would be what was formerly called Asperger's. So then when we found Aspirations, we walked in and I found a group of his peers, people who were like him, that he had the opportunity to relate to. And I was thrilled about that, but I didn't expect to get what I got out of it through the parents group. And I literally only half jokingly say that they eventually had to hire me because they just couldn't get rid of me, because it was just such a great experience.
That's great. That's great. So, it's interesting. One of the things that I came up, and one of the things that my clients with children who are getting older is trying to navigate romantic relationships. Is that something that Aspirations talks about under either curriculum?
And another curriculum. I'll let Erin tell you a little bit more about
great.
that, but
Okay.
we definitely have some enrichment groups that you'll want to know about.
The 10-week curriculum that we've already talked about starts to cover that building friendships and setting boundaries and, what makes a good friend and a not good friend. So we Sometimes we'll specifically touch on dating, just depends on who's interested and who's in our group at that point. But we do have another program within Aspirations. We're calling them our enrichment groups, called Relate to Me. So Relate to Me's focus is on those more intimate relationships. So not just boyfriend and girlfriend, but also how do you develop a best friend? So the focus really is around building those deeper relationships, helping our participants learn the do's and don'ts of dating and online dating. And we go into a little bit of sexual health education, but the focus really is just on, that relationship and building that relationship to be able to eventually date.
Got it.
And helping, we like to joke that a lot of times our participants will come in and they'll be like, I want a girlfriend. I want to find a girlfriend. And we laugh because, I think, there's more than just finding a girlfriend. You have to get to know someone and you have to, build that relationship. So our participants, they've had a great experience with it. And we actually end that group with a mock speed dating session. So they get to practice that initial conversation. How do you get to know someone? What are some of those little conversations that you have in that first, couple minutes of meeting someone new?
Wow. And that's called Relate to Me.
Correct.
And does a person have to go through Aspirations to go into Relate to Me, and is that again found on the website?
Yeah, so it is on our website, along with a couple other of our enrichment groups. But we usually, so I don't have a good answer for you, because usually we do encourage folks to start with our Aspirations, our 10-week program, because we like everybody to have kind of a good, comfortable base set of skills. However, if we have somebody interested, and during that intake interview that Tracey mentioned, we feel like, they're ready, they don't really need to go through that review, then we're open to having them start with Relate to Me.
Great. Tracey, is there a parent portion to the Relate to Me?
Not currently, there isn't.
Because I would guess that that's a transition for the parents too.
It's a huge transition for the parents. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Phase 2.
Yeah. So
Exactly. Always growing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We do send resources home with participants to share with their families, so that parents do know what's being discussed and talked about. So there's some parent communication, but not a formal class.
Got it. Well, guys, this has been just great. I want to kind of close with, is there anything upcoming, new developments that you would want folks to know about happening in Aspirations or any of the organizations that you all are affiliated with? Tracey, I'll start with you and JB there.
Okay. JB and I would like to let you know that our next round of Aspirations actually starts May 25th. And we do have a few openings left. So if you're interested, apply soon. I would definitely say that. We mentioned our enrichment groups. We have Relate to Me. We also have something called the Autism Self-Advocacy Program that is run by a self-advocate. It's a wonderful course in helping our folks learn to advocate for themselves in a positive and effective manner. We have something called employability, which is, there's a lot of employment courses out there, and we do many of the same things in terms of helping you write a resume, interview skills and whatnot. But Erin has taken and developed the group a little farther and helps with maintaining jobs, learning how to deal with workplace conflict, how to, appropriate behavior on the work site. It's really nice. And then we're also in development for 2 other things that I'm really excited about. And one of them is our basic financial literacy course to teach just the basics, understanding values, checking accounts, what is a credit score, why do you need it? And then finally, we're also putting together a program about excessive video gaming. Pandemic has been hard
Yeah.
on our folks. And a lot more people have really turned to those games, and trying to reduce that to a healthy level has been stressful on families. So we're working with some professionals to help put a program together about that.
Erin, is there anything that Tracey didn't cover that you want to plug?
Really only just reminding folks that we're running in person this summer. So we're pretty excited to be back in the building. We start May 25th. We're going to run our ASAP group. So the Autism Self-Advocacy group also is starting May 27th. We've got lots of spots open for that as well. And the only other thing that Tracey didn't mention is that we've started a self-advocate support group, and that is open to anybody free of cost. So our weekly support group is again facilitated by a self-advocate, no specific curriculum, just, standard support group.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you both enough for coming on and talking to folks about aspirations. And boy, it sounds like if you've got a need, you want to go on the Nisonger website and find out whether that can be met. My experience with the aspirations has just been wonderful, and the parents, my interaction is always with the parents, and they appreciate all that they've done, and lots of smiling faces. Even during COVID, there were smiling faces. So thank you guys so much for coming on to VLOGAN, a podcast and a video podcast for people with special needs and those who love them.
Thanks for having us, Logan.
Thanks.